So go ahead and grab your blanket, and then let me make sure this is open. And we're gonna, once you have your blanket, let's bring it over to our mat. I want to make sure I left the waiting room open. All right. So once we have our blanket, so we're going to take our blanket, no matter what kind of blanket, we can kind of fold it into something that looks like this. We're going to make that roll with our blanket. So if you don't have a blanket, you can use a foam roller even. You can even use your blocks. But tonight I wanted to have a softer kind of setting. So go ahead and just put your blanket on your mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our hips right up against that blanket. So if you want to bring your blocks nearby, so if your legs need a little bit of support, you have them, you can use that support. So bring that blanket right at the base of the tailbone and then gently lie down on it. So if you wish, you might not have enough space. I think your head's going to be right at the top of the roll, but just start to experiment with your legs. You may want to keep the knees bent, perhaps walk the feet wide, and then let the knees fall together. So maybe you stay there, or maybe you start to lengthen out those legs. So now wherever you find that nice resting position, just take your hands and squeeze them into fists. Take your toes and squeeze them underneath your feet. Just curl those far extremities into the body. And then as you exhale, let them release. And let all parts of you now land. And perhaps on that next exhale, you even let out a sigh of relief, because as we let out noise out of our body and out of our voice box, it is also another way to release that energy. So since we're in the comfort of our homes, we have the freedom to express that. So just let yourself be held here now. As the blanket holds you. And there's nothing to do but just let go now. So tonight's class is all based around Viveka, which is keen discernment. This is week 5 in our Yoga Sutras. So the quote here is from Dr. Seuss. Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. And for me, it brought me to in scripture, Colossians 3:1-5, that I felt like really fit for this keen discernment that we're all seeking, to find a freer, fuller, more expressive version of ourselves. So since then, you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you will appear with him in glory. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature. So as we put those things to death, I celebrate each one of you for the commitment and showing up here. Because our journey in yoga involves this commitment to freeing our heart and mind of any unnecessary or unhelpful baggage, and focusing instead on our path forward to contentment and inner happiness. And Viveka helps us to make healthy choices in life, stepping back and quietly contemplating what we really want in life can initiate actions in that direction. Using that keen discernment, we can carve out ourselves a path that is happier and more fulfilling. And the choices we make now determine our future. So as we follow that rhythm of breath, Breathing a little slower and a little deeper in through our nose, just feeling that back spine being supported by that blanket so the heart can open. Let all parts of you just land as you are being held here in your fullest expression of you. And as we turn inward, more and more, those outer objects and events become useless to us, and we are able to let go of our attachments to them. So as you're breathing in, I will give you a couple of invitations for maybe some mantra for tonight, or perhaps another one comes to mind altogether. So here are the invitations. With a clear heart mind, I can develop the ability to determine what is helpful and what is not. Or I will make wise and informed decisions for the benefit of all. So maybe it's something else altogether that you wish to breathe in for your intention for this evening. Just start to breathe that even more deeply in as your heart just is expanded open here. And just notice if there's any final gripping where you can send just a little bit more softness to that space. Using your discernment to discern where in your body needs that living water. And as we keep breathing that in, clearing our heart mind, let's slowly just bring us here to this now eternal moment by gently doing some finger dexterity. So let's begin to draw the thumb to each corresponding finger one at a time, each finger getting its own time with its thumb. And just flow through them each one at a time and back. And just see if you can find a little more softness. And now just start to still the fingers, let the hands fall open. And let's come into the goalpost arm. So just slowly begin to draw the fingers back in space. So now you're in the L shape with the arms. And now we're going to work that shoulder rotation. So take that inhale and lift the hands, fingertips to the sky. And then exhale, let the palms fall towards the earth, stopping. And then slowly inhale. So we're not going all the way down to the earth. Normally I would say base it on the shoulders, but they're already off the earth. So we're just going down maybe 45 degrees, maybe, 30 degrees away from the earth. But find where that position where it just starts to, where you're going to stop. We're discerning how each area of our body feels this evening. One more time. And now just reach those arms back to the letter T. Let's really tuck the chin to the chest and just gently rock the chin side to side, shoulder to shoulder. Turning our focus on the neck and the back of the head. And just sealing in with that smiley face on our heart. Whatever our intention is in this class based around our keen discernment. And then let's still the head, bring the head back up to the sky. And now slowly bend the knees if the legs are lengthened. Let's walk the feet nice and wide. We'll stay on that blanket for support. If you have your blocks in the way, maybe move those out of the way, as I'm doing as well. And then now windshield wiper those legs side to side. Starting to bring that awareness into the hips. as you're just noticing and discerning how those hips are feeling. And then let's all just end by letting our knees fall over to the right. And just pause there on the right. And now lengthen that right arm overhead and just gently roll to that side. So now rolling there, resting there on the right side, let that right heart be held. So now gently peel your gaze, look down towards the heart and just seal in that intention as that side of the heart is held. And now gently press yourself up. We're going to keep our legs kind of like they are, but we're going to make that mermaid's tail. So just let that left knee soften inside edge of the right foot. And now let's drop that left hand down outside of the calf, shin area, and then reach that right arm up and over. So now inhale, rise, reach the right hand down, left arm up and over. So flow now side to side. And maybe you start to look down towards the earth as you flow side to side. Maybe you do that for a time or two. And then I invite you to shift your awareness and start to look up to the sky and just shift to notice how that changes just that side body stretch. That side body expansion. And let's do that one more time. And then we're all going to pause with that right hand there behind the hip. So you can either just reach that left arm up or maybe lift the hips up. And just pause here as that left arm reaches back in space. And now exhale, hips soften down, soften that left arm down, right arm up and over. So now add that optional hip raise here if you'd like, as you flow side to side. And just allow yourself to make those wise and informed decisions for the benefit of you right here, right now, but ultimately the benefit for all. And let's just do that one last time, perhaps. And then let's soften back down. We're going to revolve here. So we're going to inhale, rise with both arms, and then soften down over to the right. Just let the hands soften down. So you can stay high here or even come deeper down. So you may want your blocks, or you can just slowly come on down to one forearm. And just let yourself breathe and be here now. You might be able to get both forearms down, but that's a little too intense for me. So you got to listen to what your body's telling you. So if you're upright, let's slowly come down to our forearm. And we're just going to reach back for the top of the left foot. So maybe trace the top of the thigh with the left hand, reach for the top of the left foot, and just make sure that right shoulder or elbow is underneath the shoulder. So now start to draw that knee back in space with the heel reaching for the glute. So you can stay here for a breath or two, and then maybe you join me in the flow. Slowly round the knee to the head, and then slowly reach it back. Expand, open. Breathe in as you're breathing in that discernment and wisdom here to trust as you expand, open. Perhaps one more time here. And we'll just pause open for another breath or two. Feel that quad releasing as you push the foot into the hand, perhaps pushing the hand into the foot just slightly. And then let the heel relax back towards the glute. Feel the quad release. We're going to soften the foot down to the earth and roll back onto our spine. So hopefully that blanket's still there and it can be still supporting your spine. And then just open those arms once again. So now let's bring the feet wide once again and just windshield wiper those legs side to side. So one more time over to the right, and let's all end with the knees falling to the left. Now we're going to gently roll to the left. So let's lengthen out that left arm overhead and now roll to the left side and let the left side of your heart be held. Let the gaze just soften towards the heart and towards the earth. As perhaps you breathe in gratitude for being held here in this space. As you come back to your heart's intention, gently rise as you embrace all of that. And slowly just begin to stagger the legs so you make that mermaid's tail once again. This time the right shin or thigh inside edge of the left foot. And then let's start to soften the right hand outside of that calf, shin. Reach the left arm high. Then just start that flow side to side. So just noticing the first few times through, and then we'll start to shift that gaze. Notice if you need any support like the blanket, you can always move the blanket underneath the knee or the hip hair. So now let's intentionally start to shift our gaze. So now as we flow side to side, let's start to look down to the earth. And now this next time, start to look up to the sky. Maybe you start down, but then you look up. And then exhale, look down, and then maybe gently look up as you flow to the other side. So just do that a few times. Just noticing those subtle shifts. And now let's reach one more time back to the right, and then we're going to go back to the left, and either you can stay just as you are reaching that right hand high, or just let the left arm come down and then lift the hips as well as that right arm. And then exhale, soften, and start to flow side to side, just like before. The world is going to try to pull us and twist us. And this is where our wisdom and discernment is key. So we discern while we're here, knowing what is for us and where to stop. Maybe go one more time on lifting the hips. And then let's all come back down into the center. Let's lift the arms high. We're going to revolve to the left. So let the hands soften down. So breathe here. And maybe you stay here more upright, or you can join me maybe with the blocks or not. Just slowly come down. Walk your hands down, maybe to your forearms, maybe one or both. You may need a block underneath one of the arms, because I know my front arm does not want to quite reach the earth. So just breathe here as you go a little deeper into that rotation to let go of any of your attachments so that you can find freedom to discern from that free space. Feel as if a wet dishcloth is being wrung out as you're breathing slowly and deeply here, wringing out those inner organs. And if you're more upright, just join me here down on your forearm. Let's start to position that left forearm right there underneath the shoulder. And we're going to just rock onto our left hip and start to reach for the top edge of that right foot. So just start to feel the heel reach back for the glute.
Feel that freedom and that expansiveness in the front of the quad. And then we're going to start to flow. So thinking about that knee staying parallel with the hip. Slowly draw the knee to the nose as you draw it in. And then exhale, draw the heel back, draw the knee back. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale, release the things you're attached to. Open and expand into your fullest potential. And let your gaze move where it feels right. Maybe you just look slightly, gently, diagonally up. So maybe do that 1 or 2 more times. And then we're just going to pause there, open, just like we did before. Feel the heel reach back for the glute. Maybe you stay there or push the foot slightly into the hand into the foot. And now slowly, gently draw the heel back to the glute. Pause, breathe here, open that shoulder. And then release that foot. And we're going to come up to seated. So just take your time moving up to seated. So go ahead and move your blanket off to the side. You can just fold it in a square if you'd like. Just set that off to the side. And then let's go ahead and press ourselves forward once we're here. Go ahead and press yourselves forward. So now your hand on your hands and knees. So now we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and just let the tops of the feet relax. Let's actually tap the tops of the feet. It's kind of like we're making our own beat of a drum. Let's go ahead and make our own beat of the drum as we tap the tops of the feet on the earth. Let your drum beat in your rhythm. And then start to still the feet. And just bring some blood flow there. And now let the belly begin to soften to the earth. Let the heart, head, hips begin to raise. And then as you exhale, begin to melt that back body back up to the sky. Round it, let the head fall, let the hips fall. And now just begin to send the breath into all of those tight, sticky spaces as you begin to feel more and more spaciousness. Let's just take a breath or two to incorporate our feet. So as we come into our cow pose, as the belly falls, press the toes into the earth. Feel the inner arches of the feet release, feel the toes release, and then exhale, let the feet soften, lift the back body. So let's just do that 2 more times, incorporating the feet. And now let's come into our nice neutral flat back. We're going to do a little core work here. We always got to do that so we have a nice strong back. So let's go ahead, flex those feet once again. Feel a nice solid core, navel to the spine. Start to lift and hover those knees. So you have the option of staying right here this evening. If you wish to take a walk with me, you can stroll. So we're going to reach the right hand and left foot forward, and then left hand, right foot. So opposite limb stepping forward, just trying to keep the knees above the earth. And then reverse that direction. Because sometimes we have to go backwards to go forwards. And it's being willing to let go of what we have known to embrace that. So maybe move forward with me one more time. Breathing all the way. And then reverse. Reverse all the way to the back edge of the mat. And then once you get there, set the feet down. Let the toes relax. Let the feet relax. Sink those hips back. Now let the head soften. Let the body be held by those thighs. Now as you melt the forehead to the earth, begin to invite the forehead to gently rock, to surrender all of those final thoughts. Leave all those final things that are for later. Leave them all at the earth for now. And then you can continue to rock if you wish, or find your stillness. And we're going to come up into our TP hands, so those cupcake hands. Lift the palms up to the sky as the fingertips melt into the earth. And as you're here in those TP hands, breathe into those wrists. Perhaps breathing gratitude for your hands, your fingers, and your wrists. And now begin to melt the palms back to the earth. As the palms melt down, lift the fingers wide and high. And then exhale, soften the fingers to meet the earth. Spread the fingers wide as the index fingers shine forward. When you're ready, slowly inhale up, lift the hips. And now when you're ready, flex the feet and lift the hips even higher into down dog, keeping a nice bent knee. Now start to march, pedal, walk out your dog. Just start to gently, slowly lengthen one leg back. Maybe shake out the head. And now start to refine your down dog. Start to plug the shoulders in and back. Pull the navel in. Pull the low ribs in as the hips lift high. As you feel the hamstrings lengthen. So when it feels right for you, just begin to just soften the heels towards the earth. You can keep as much bend through the knees as you need. And then we're going to lift the heels high, coming up to our tip toes. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, soften. One more time. Inhale, breathe, lift high. Exhale, soften. So today we're really going to soften those knees, and then we're going to walk our hands back in space. So take your time, gently walk your hands back. And just find your forward fold here. And perhaps you just gently rock a little forward and back just to find that nice balanced place. And then let yourself still even more. Wrap the hands on the elbows, let the head fold down. Let the belly be held again. And just breathe slowly and deeply here as you stay in your forward fold. And now slowly soften the hands down to meet the earth. We're going to slowly draw the hands, the fingertips up to the shins, L-shaped body. Now let's slowly draw the hands back to the hips, soften the knees, draw the elbows to the sky, and inhale, lift the head. Let's stop here. And then lift the arms, reach high. Let the hands melt down to the heart center. And then we're going to begin to walk towards the front edge of the mat. So let's step, heel, toe, one foot slowly at a time, mindfully. There's no need to rush. We're being patient and kind with ourselves to learn, to discern this inner wisdom. So once you get to the front edge of the mat, we're going to start to step back. As we step back, we're going to push forward with our palms. So let's separate the palms, and we're going to go ahead and take a step back with the right foot as we push forward, and then draw the palms back as we step the left foot back. Now step the left foot back, press forward, and then draw the right foot back into alignment as you draw the arms back. So now right foot leads, step back. Draw the fist as you draw the left foot back. That should be right at the edge of the mat. So now we're going to go forward. So now as we go forward, we're warding off anything that is not for us. So let's bring our heel forward as we soften that right or left knee, ward off that energy, step forward. as you draw the left foot forward. Now the left foot heel forward, ward it off as you step forward. Perhaps you have one more time with that right foot now, stepping forward, warding off that energy. So let's do that 2 more times. So now the left foot begins, step back, press away, and then draw back as the right foot comes back. Now the right foot goes as the hands press. Now draw back. Left foot steps back, press forward, draw back. Perhaps one more. And now start when you're ready. Heel, ward it off. Step forward. Heel, ward it off. Step forward. Perhaps 1 or 2 more step forwards if you have the space. And then we're going to step back one last time, starting with that left foot. Press away and then draw the right foot back, arms back. Right foot steps back, draw the left foot back. Now follow your rhythm as you step back left. Step back right, last time. And let's all meet front edge of the mat. Heel, left foot forward, ward it off. Right, step forward, left. Final time, maybe take one little step forward with the right so you're even. And then we'll come back to the front edge of our mat. And let's take our inhale here, drawing our hands to meet that heart. And now let's add a little bit of challenge here. We're going to draw the hands up to the sky, draw the hands behind the heart as we breathe in the wisdom and the discernment here to have that keen knowing and understanding. We're going to humble ourselves to receive that wisdom. So maybe you can stay here or draw the hands down to the low back. Let the head melt down, hinge from the hips, heart folds down. And then reach those arms up overhead. So leave it all down at the earth and pick up what you need here. So your heart expand here. And then we're going to strengthen here as well, because sometimes as we're being humbled, we have to be refined. So start to sink those hips back, reach the fingertips back, keep the gaze looking down towards the earth, reaching forward. So now think about those knees staying aligned over those ankles. So now slowly unlock the hands, reach those fingertips forward, pause, breathe. We're going to draw the hands to meet the heart, and we're going to just take a little step open with the right. So step open and squat down, and then step back in. Now step the left foot open, squat down, and then back in. Let's do that 2 more times each way. Right, in, left, in. Final time, right, in, left, in, and then inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Pause and breathe here. We want a little bit of work here. And then let's find our active back extension. Inhale, rise, fingertips to the shins, L-shaped body. So feel free to draw the fingertips back to the hips or arms out to the letter T. Soften the knees. Inhale, rise. Maybe an upward salute here. Pinkies draw together. Gently lean back. Little mini back bend. And then exhale, hands meet together overhead and down to the heart. Just start to bring yourself into alignment as you rock forward and back. And now let's open our heart a little bit more again to receive that wisdom, to discern what our inner truth is. Inhale, rise, hands soften down behind you again. Create that weird interlock where it feels awkward. Charge those knuckles down, look high. Breathe out as those shoulders draw together, down and back. Heart opens wide. And as you receive from the sky above you, let's receive from the earth beneath you. So maybe you stay here or just soften the hands to the low back, hinge at the hips, soften the knees, lower the heart down. Let the belly be held once again as you reach the arms overhead. Breathe here and let it go. Our daily walk. Surrender it all. And then we're going to just begin to lower the hands back to the low back. We're going to sink our hips back into chair pose as we reach the palms down towards the tailbone again. Lift the gaze, looking down and forward. So nice bound chair pose. So we're going to do that again, squat position here. So now release the hands, reach those fingertips forward, plug the shoulders in. Let's draw the hands to the heart. We're going to step open left. So take that small step open, squat down, back in, step right, back in, left, back in, right. Last time. Last little bit of work. And now inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. You can go ahead and draw your blocks in if you're using them. We're going to step that right foot back. So take a big step back. Walk the blocks back if you're using them. So just pause and be here now. And let's just tick-tock a little forward and back here. And now realign your body, restack that knee over the ankle. And let's lower that right hand under the shoulder, slowly lift the left arm high. And while we're revolved, let's lower that rear knee down, relax the foot back. And now let's soften the left hand as we bend the elbow, lower the back palm to the low back. So now release the left hand, sink the hips back once you're back. Let the arms frame the leg, head folds down. Now take your inhale, gently guide yourself back forward. We're going to flex that right foot, lift the knee, and now pivot that foot. We're going to begin to just sink the hips back again. Just lengthen out that front leg, head folds down. Feel even more length through that hamstring. Now as you exhale, soften, realign the knee. So pause here, and when you're ready, we're going to reverse cartwheel up with those arms. So take your time, reverse cartwheel up so that you can find your warrior two here. So perhaps you wring out those shoulders a couple times, just turning the palms, maybe alternating the palms. Just wring out any final holding here. Now turn your palms back down. And now we're going to slowly reach our arms up. Let's take that right thumb and wrap it around that left wrist. Right thumb and index finger, wrap it around. Cross that palm up, that left palm, and now gently drift it back. Maybe look back, looking back towards that pinky toe. Now soften the gaze, soften the arms, return back to warrior two. Feel that discernment spreading. And now as we expand into our fullest potential, let's inhale, lengthen out the front leg, reach out from our hip to find our triangle. So perhaps your triangle this evening has your block behind the calf, and you use maybe a little more support so you can let go of the holding in the body. Breathe in some space there in that outer right hip. And perhaps now you wish to fold that top arm down. Now release and reach that arm back up. That right arm back up. Let's slowly cartwheel the arm down as we soften that front knee. Take your time and frame that front leg, and then we're going to pivot that rear leg. So now let's soften that rear knee down. So we're going to go into our pigeon today, but we're going to go a little differently. So soften that rear knee down, see if you need some support there. We're going to start to move the blocks off to the side and then heel toe that left foot over to the right edge of the mat, and then let the outer edge of the calf rest down. So now you may need to move that right leg back. So you may need to walk it back there a few little walks. And then we're going to come down. Just find our restorative pigeon here today. So wherever you are here, maybe you wish to grab your blanket today because you need a little support. This is where your discernment here is key, is critical. So perhaps you grab that blanket that might be folded and bring it underneath that left hip. So now with that support, your body has permission to let go. So just invite it to let go now. And let your body sink deeper down now. And with a clear heart mind, I can develop the ability to determine what is helpful and what is right. I will make wise and informed decisions for the benefit of all. Now for these next few breaths here, can you find a little bit more softness, even just a little bit? We're going to begin to gently come up. So when you're ready, perhaps on that inhale, just come to your forearms. If you have any support underneath those hips, maybe you remove it now. And then gently just come up to your fingertips, onto your hands. And let's just frame that left knee and gently look over that left shoulder. And now exhale, look back forward and rock off to the left side and draw that right leg forward. So let's send the right foot forward and draw the left foot into that inner thigh. So let's start to inhale, sit tall, reach the left arm high. We're going to reach that left hand for that outer edge of the right leg, calf, or thigh. Just take a moment to reach the right fingertips back in space as you look back. And now take the wisdom from looking back and look forward gently. Cross the right arm over on top of the left. Now let your head rest down. Now, as we take off those grave clothes of yesterday, just part of our daily practice, start to walk your hands back. You can keep those arms crossed. As our metaphorical act of taking off those grave clothes, let's take those off, shedding those. as we slowly draw the left knee up and either leave the left foot right there in front of the hip or cross it over across that right leg. Really flex the right foot. Let's reach the right arm long out to the side and then wrap it around that knee. Reach the left arm high and then drop it down behind you. Now send all of that breath through that left outer hip. And then we'll slowly unwind or turn back forward. Just uncross the leg, then cross the feet at the ankles and press yourselves forward. We're going to come on back up to our down dog. So make your way there. We're going to find our way back into that forward fold. So maybe you step, maybe you hop, maybe you jump, whatever you wish. Find your way back. And maybe rock forward and back. So now you can grab your blocks if you're using them. We're going to bring that left foot back. So maybe use your block, step the left foot back as you wiggle the toes back there to find that low lunge. So now we're going to bring the left hand down to the earth. So take your time and gently bring it right underneath the shoulder there. And let's slowly inhale up with that right arm. Start to find the softness as that rear knee softens down. Let the rear foot relax down. And now let the top hand fold down and back. And now slowly soften that arm, that right hand back to meet the block or the earth. Bring the leg and then exhale, sink back. Now as we inhale, slowly inhale, shift the weight forward. We'll lift that rear knee. We'll do that little tick-tock forward and back. Forgot to do it before. And then we'll pause once we find that alignment with the knee. Now pivot that rear foot so it's parallel with the short edge of the mat. And exhale, sink the hips back, lengthen out the front leg as the head folds down. Feel the outer edge of that left foot really plant in. Now slowly soften, bend that front knee. Getting ready to reverse cartwheel up into warrior two. And make any adjustments here with your position. Get those shoulders aligned. Maybe ring a little bit out more. And now here in warrior two, really think about that inner edge of the knee pressing towards the pinky toe side. We're going to begin to reach both arms high. Start to wrap the thumb and index finger of the left hand around the right wrist. Press that right palm up and now draw the fingertips back as you look back. And breathe in here as you feel the strength as those stabilizer muscles keep you here. And now slowly, gently release the arms. Come back to warrior two. And then slowly lengthen out the front leg. Reach out from the hip. Find your support, perhaps with the block or not. And just be here for this moment as you feel those left fingertips reach high. Now let the fingertips reach back and down as they tuck down. See if you can peel that left shoulder open just a little bit more. And now release that left arm, slowly bend the front knee, slowly walk the hands down, bring the blocks down, and now pivot that rear foot. So we're going to soften that rear knee down, see if you need padding, and then move those blocks off to the side. And once again, heel toe, now the right foot over to the left edge of the mat, and let the outer edge of the calf fall down. And then walk the left leg back to that space where it feels just right. You may want that blanket again to add that support underneath that right hip. So now when you're ready, fall down into your restorative pigeon. And just let yourself be held here for these next few breaths, these next few moments. Nothing to do, just be. With a clear heart mind, I can develop the ability to determine what is helpful and what is not. I will make wise and informed decisions for the benefit of all. And just see if you can find even a little bit more softness. And that softness may look like you need to just pat that outer hip to invite it to relax even more. Let's just be here for another few breaths. And if we have a blanket or support underneath that right hip, let's go ahead and remove that. We're going to come up to our hands. Take your time, start on the forearms. And once you're here at the top, we're just going to start to frame the right knee. Just start to walk your hands around that right knee and look over that right shoulder. Breathe. And now release the gaze, walk your hands forward as you rock off to the right hip to draw the left leg forward. So now sit tall, draw the right foot into the inner thigh. Let's move the fluff out from underneath our bottom. And then we'll reach the right hand high as we sit tall. And then exhale, right hand softens to the outer left thigh, calf, or shin. Or foot. And then let the left hand reach back as you look back. And now slowly, gently release that left hand, start to reach it forward, cross it on top of the right arm, and let your hand reach for the inner edge of the foot, calf, or thigh. And as we let go of who we were yesterday, we start to walk back with our hands, keeping our arms crossed to the best of our abilities. We take off those grave clothes of who we were yesterday to embrace who we are today. Let's metaphorically take them off. So we let the hands float down, just start to draw the right knee up. Foot stays there in front of the hip, or cross that right leg over the left, right foot. Then start to reach the left arm off to the side. Wrap it around that right knee and then reach that right hand high and drop it back and down. It's like a kickstand for your body to keep you upright. Breathe here as that belly presses into that thigh. We'll end class just a few minutes after 8, but we started a few minutes late. One more breath here. And then slowly, gently, when you're ready, unwind, return back forward, uncross the legs. And now we're going to use that blanket one more time. So let's bring our blanket, and now we're going to probably want to bring it a little bit bigger. So rather than a quarter, make it like, or it's a quarter of a blanket. So you want a full quarter. So let's roll that into a roll once again. And then we're going to find our last little bit of support here. So we're going to find a butterfly pose, and we'll bring the blanket over the tops of the feet and then outside of the calves. So now the support is outside of the calves there, and we're in our butterfly pose. So once you find that nice support, just gently come back onto your elbows, and we'll rock and roll when we come out rather than when we come in today. So let's just start to settle in and settle down. If you feel like you need to rock those legs around a little bit side to side, you can do so. You should still have your support even if you move those legs a little bit. So when you're ready, just start to just let yourself be held. And to really bring that awareness to that diaphragmatic breathing, let's just bring our hands to our belly. Begin to tuck the chin to the chest. Lower the back of the head down. And now as you follow the rhythm of breath and you feel the inhale as the belly rises, exhale as the belly falls. Perhaps it's like you're riding the waves in the ocean. Just feeling the ebbs and flows. Feeling the rhythm of life happening through you. Yet not getting pulled under with any of the currents. So as you let yourself be held here, give yourself permission to let all parts of you be held here and let go here. You can keep your hands there or maybe let your arms release. You get to choose. As you just start to breathe in a deeper peace. An even deeper peace as you breathe in the breath of that expansiveness of the ocean that you're resting upon. Let it carry you back to your safe, peaceful place. And on your next breath, just start to come back as you breathe in even deeper, sealing in our practice and the inner discernment that you have built and created within yourself. Maybe bring one hand to the heart to really feel your heart in this space of being fully held. The wise and discerning heart that you have. Now let's bring some support to those thighs. Slowly draw the knees up and then draw the knees in and just start to rock side to side. Just wanted to get a little last movement in before we wrapped up class. So maybe just open the arms and just let the knees fall right and fall left one time. Give yourself a moment on each side and then go the other way. See if you can allow both shoulders to meet the earth and be anchored here. And then when it's right for you, just roll to one side, whatever side is speaking to you, and pause there on your side one last time. Let your gaze meet the earth again as you breathe in gratitude for the support. And gently begin to press yourself up and let your head stack last as you find your nice, easy seated position. So once again, move that fluff out. And now anchor the fingertips in, close and soften the eyes. Start to flip the palms as you surround yourself in that light of discernment. Perhaps there's a color that's coming to mind. Just notice. And now allow that light to enter into your heart as it travels down through the mind, the words, the throat, the heart. Now as the heart meets the thumbs, let the mind meet the heart to connect it all with a clear heart mind, giving you wisdom to see what is healthy and right for you. From my heart to your heart, I'm wishing you guys just a beautiful and peaceful rest of your night. Together we say namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you guys.
Thank
And then
you.
just
Have
a
a good-
reminder, I meant to send it with class tonight.